Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here, and now continuing my Christmas reviews. Now I'm going to review the Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. Yeah, so I do like this movie, but yeah, this one is definitely the worst one in the trilogy. Yeah, I really don't like it as much, nearly as much as the first two. Yeah, I mean, I can see why people wouldn't like this movie. Yeah, because yeah, this does have a lot of problems, definitely. Yeah. And yeah, there really is no like major plot for this movie. Yeah, I mean, yeah, first movie Scott becomes Santa. Second movie he has to get married in order to remain Santa. What happens here? Hmm. And Scott and Carol are having a baby, but that's not what the movie's mainly focused on. Scott wishes that he'd never been Santa, but that's like that past the halfway point of the movie. Yeah, it's not really focused on Carol's parents knowing who Scott is. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so there's not really any major or plot for this movie, yeah. And yeah, this movie it still has like the original cast. It still has Tim Allen, Judge Reinhold, Wendy Crewson, Eric Lloyd, and still has people from the second movie, Elizabeth Mitchell, Spencer Breslin, Liliana Mummy, me, and Art LaFleur, yeah. And yeah, for this movie, they even have they've had Martin Shorten. Yeah. But yeah, Bernard's not in this movie at all, and there's not even any mention of him in this movie at all. Yeah, I mean they don't even mention what happened to him, why he's not here in the movie. Yeah, there's just absolutely no mention of Bernard whatsoever. Yeah. So yeah, I can see why people really would not don't like this movie, but yeah, I do like it, but yeah, not nearly as much as the first two movies. Yeah, I give this about like maybe 2.75 stars out of 4. Yeah. So yeah, let me just get right into this one. Yeah. So the movie starts basically the same way the second movie did. It had the same music at the beginning of the first one, and it was showing the opening credits, and we saw Carol is like this elf school teacher. Yeah. And one of the elves asked her like, what was it like when she came to the North Pole or something, or what was something that changed her life or something. And then she tells the story of when her and Scott had a baby. And then it cut to Carol being stretchered by Scott, and all the elves are running to the elf infirmary, and yeah, it was just a false alarm. And then we cut to Carol and Scott in like Scott's office, and then the elf doctor appears, and he's like trying to check on Carol. Well, well, yeah, he's like trying to check blood pressure, and then Curtis comes in. He tells Scott that there's like an emergency council of legendary figures meeting that's gonna happen, and this will be at the North Pole. Yeah, and there was just so much commotion going on that Carol just left. Then in the toy factory, Carol she just seemed distraught because it was like Scott's paying more attention to his work than he is with Carol. And then and Carol tells Scott that she just wants to see her regular family. And Scott tells Carol that he'll bring her parents up here. And then Curtis tells Scott that there's the SOS, the secret of Santa, and he can't let anyone know that he's Santa. And, Carol mentioned that her parents think Scott's a toy maker in Canada. And then Scott said that he'll just make the North Pole look like Canada. Yeah. And then we had the later on we had the Council of Legendary Figures meeting. There were all the council legendary figures again. There was Mother Nature, Father Time, the Tooth Fairy, Cupid, Easter Bunny, Sandman. Yeah, all of them. Yeah, and then it was a meeting about Jack Frost. Uh, Mother Nature told Santa that she's found cutouts of him like at over 270 shopping malls, all in like the Northwest or something. Yep. And then Jack Frost arrived. Jack Frost was played by Martin Short, and she said that he's being charged for attempted upstaging of Santa Claus, saying that he froze a volcano in Hawaii, made it snow in the Amazon, and frosted Mexico, sending geese up north for the winter. She said it was willful and malicious, and then Jack Frost interjected, asked if she just accused him of being skillful and delicious. And then they were about to vote to suspend Jack Frost from the council, legendary figures. Then, and Jack Frost was just basically just asking them not to. Who, yeah. And then Santa, no, or Scott told Jack Frost of all the stuff that he's got to do. And then Cupid interjected, said that if it was him, he'd just go for the escape clause. And Jack Frost asked what that was. And Father Time told Jack Frost that maybe he'd know if he would attend a meeting once in a while. And then Jack Frost took a shot at Father Time, saying that he can, like, he can keep up with time, but he can't grow any hair. Yeah, and then Jack Frost just asked for a second chance. Asked that instead of being suspended, if he would just do community service. And then Scott told Jack Frost that that he has to listen to the elves and just do the work, and Curtis would be his boss. And then we cut to Scott going down to see Charlie, Laura, Neil, and Lucy. Yep. And yeah, Scott brought Charlie a snowboard. And then Lucy asked if she could go back to the North Pole with him. And yeah. And then Laura said that she should go too, so to help Carol out, like it would be another mom. Yeah. And Scott didn't want them to go, cause yeah, it'd just be too much, cause he already has another family going. It would be Carol's parents, yeah. And then Neil just told Scott that Charlie's been to the North Pole and that the new baby's being born at the North Pole. Lucy's part of the family too, and if she doesn't go, it could scar her for life. Yeah. Then back at the North Pole. Oh, like the elves were setting up the North Pole to make it look like Canada. And Jack Frost put up some kind of sign, and he said that I've done it, and then the sign just fell and broke. And then he landed on the two elves helping him. Yeah. Then he was asking Curtis what exactly the escape clause was, and Curtis didn't answer, didn't tell him. It said it was none of his business. And then, yeah, Jack Frost just said Curtis just didn't know. Oh. And then Curtis just told Jack Frost that he's now off number one, and he knows everything about the escape clause. Yeah. And Jack Frost just said it was not important. Then Curtis went ballistic, saying it's very important, and he just told Jack Frost what it was. That every Santa had a snow globe, and they'd hold it, just say they'd never wish they'd been Santa, and they would just go back to when they had become Santa and stuff. Yeah. And then Scott and Sandman went to go pick up Carol's parents. He told the Sandman that once they get in the car, to put them to sleep and have them dream they're on a flight to Canada. Yeah. And he told Sandman to take his nightcap off. Yeah. And when they went inside of Carol's parents' house, they tried to tell a story about when they went to Yosemite or whatever, and Sammer just couldn't take it anymore, and then he just blew the stand and put them to sleep. Yeah. He, and then, like, right after they went to sleep, Sammer put his cap back on, just went to sleep. Then later on, when Scott arrived back at the North Pole with Carol's parents and Lucy, Laura, and Neil. Well, yeah. And then and then Carol's parents came up to Carol and they hugged her. Yeah. Then Lucy, Laura, and Neil went to the toy factory. Curtis tried to just tell them not to mess around with any of the toy building. Yeah. And yeah. And then Lucy approached Jack Frost, and she said that she never heard of Jack Frost. And Jack Frost just tried to explain who he was, and Lucy just told him to chill, and then he just said, "I invented chill." Yeah. Then later on, Jack Frost was like, just told him that there was like some cocoa in the lounge for the elves, yeah. And he was just messing up all of the equipment, yeah. In the naughty nice area, he like messed up the list printer or whatever it was, yeah. And then in the kitchen, he turned the oven up, and then he froze the cocoa maker. Yeah. Yeah, and then there was just a bunch of total chaos up there, yeah. And then later, Laura, uh, Laura and Neil were introduced to Carol's parents, yeah. Yeah, and then there was just so much commotion going on that Santa was just saying, just like, he was just completely speechless, and then he told Curtis, when Curtis was about to tell him something, that he didn't want to hear any more bad news, and then Curtis just said it was good news, and he told Scott that his pants were on fire, and then his pants got extinguished. And then later, Scott showed Lucy his snow globe collection, and yeah, it was like some kind of machine where Scott had entered a code, and then it was like it rotated them into another room, and it showed all the snow globes from the Santa, those from the past, and Scott's was right in the middle. Yeah. And he gave Lucy a snow globe, which showed Lucy hugging a snowman. Yeah. And then when Scott and Lucy left the room, as it was rotating them out, Jack Frost was on the other side, so he was rotated in, and he got Scott's snow globe. Oh, oh, and as Scott was going, he tried to help Laura, Carol, and Carol's mom decorate the Christmas tree. But then Scott was just, Curtis just came and got him, yeah. And as Neil and Laura went to go help find Lucy, Lucy then saw that Jack Frost had Scott's snow globe, and Lucy tried to call for Laura and Neil to help. And then when they got in, Jack Frost just froze them, and he said that if Lucy wouldn't get in the closet with them and be quiet, that he'd freeze her too. And then Lucy got in the closet, and Jack Frost just closed the door and locked her in. And yeah. And then back at Scott's office with Carol and her parents, Jack Frost then came along too. Then, then he loosened the thing that made the Christmas tree stand up. And as Scott was trying to put the tree topper on, the tree just then fell over, and Christmas top, the tree topper just broke up. And then Scott started to have some heated exchanges with Carol's parents. They said that maybe they should never come, and then Carol then said maybe she should never have come. And then Jack Frost then just asked Scott to just go along with the walk for him while everyone cools down. And then Jack Frost then popped up a present. He gave it to Scott. Said it may cheer him up. And then Scott then just said, well, Jack Frost asked if he thinks that this was all worth it. And then Scott just basically said that he wished that he'd never been Santa at all, and it was while he was holding the snow globe. Oh, globe, yeah. And then Scott and Jack Frost were transported back to when Scott first put the coat on. Yeah, so it was from the first movie. Yeah. Jack Frost then called out the previous Santa, and then, yeah, he fell off the roof. Yeah, Scott tried to stop him from putting the coat on, but then Jack Frost nailed Scott with a snow shovel, and then he put the coat on. So yeah, then they were transported back to the present day, and it was basically how Scott was when the first movie started. Just a normal person in a toy company. Yeah, and he spoke with one of his co-workers. He asked why they worked on Christmas Eve, and his co-worker said that they always do. Then Scott drove over to Laura's house. It was just basically the way things were at the beginning of the first movie. Yeah, basically no relationship with his family. And Charlie went out with his friends. Then Laura told Scott that Neil took Lucy to the North Pole every year since they got a divorce. Yeah. Then Scott went off to the North Pole. It was in a plane. Yeah, and then the North Pole was basically just an amusement park. I mean, yeah, everything was just for sale. Oh yeah, and then there was like a reindeer petting zoo. Yeah, and yeah, it was just yeah. And Scott found Neil and Lucy. Yeah, and yeah, same thing. Yeah, just basically no relationship with them. And Neil told Scott that because he was never there for Charlie, Charlie didn't want Neil to be his father, and it really messed up things with him and Laura. Yeah, and then Scott eventually then found Jack Frost as Santa. And Jack Frost said that he's got everything he needs right here, and everyone can just go up to the North Pole and get everything. And then he gave Scott a voice recording pen. Yep. And Scott told Jack Frost that this wasn't what Christmas was about. Now, and Jack Frost asked him who said that I wish I never been Santa at all, and then Scott recorded that as Jack Frost was saying it, which came in handy later. Yeah. And then later on, there was like a show with Santa. Then Scott went up to Lucy, told her about the snow globes. Yeah. Globes, and yet that there was a snow globe room collection in the same place it was. Yeah. Because he was Santa and he knew where everything was. Yeah. Then during the show, as Jack Frost was singing a song, Scott then swung and kicked Jack Frost down. Yeah, and the audience was just laughing. They thought it was part of the act. Scott told them that he was Santa. And yeah, the audience was just laughing. Then Lucy found the snow globe collection. And Jack Frost was telling Scott that he's no longer Santa and he's just a guy who smells like a cookie. And then Lucy tossed the snow globe to Jack Frost. And then Jack Frost tried to tell Scott that he would never get him safe, and then Scott played the recording with Jack Frost saying that he wished he'd never been Santa at all. Well, yeah, and then they were transported back to when Scott first became Santa, and we saw clips from the first movie. movie playing, yeah, as Scott was restraining Jack Frost from getting the code again. Yeah, but yeah, there was some. They really messed up here. It showed Scott putting on the Santa coat on his rooftop, which he didn't do. He put the suit on another rooftop, so yeah, big screw up right there. But yeah. And once that happened, they were just transported back to normal, exactly the way things were before, right at the same moment. Yeah, and then Scott went back to Carol and her parents. He just told them that every family just argues on Christmas Eve, and that's what happened with them. Then he took them to the toy factory, and yeah, there was no more secrets right here, yeah. He showed that they were all elves and that he was Santa. He put on the hat and the coat. And it showed all the legendary figures, Easter Bunny, Cupid, the Tooth Fairy, Sandman, and Charlie was there also. And then Lucy came, ran up. Curtis said that he found Lucy locked in the closet. And yeah, he saw Laura and Neil were frozen. And then the elf police then grabbed Jack Frost, yeah. Scott asked how they would be unfrozen. Jack Frost said that they can only be unfrozen if Jack Frost unfreezes himself, which was something he never knew. And Mother Nature told Scott that their powers wouldn't work on other legendary figures. And then he had Lucy go up to Jack Frost and give him a warm hug, which then thawed him out. Oh, yeah. And then Laura and Neil got thawed out also. Yeah. And then Neil called for a group hug, and then all the elves and everyone just gathered around and hugged each other, yeah. And then Carol said it was time to deliver the package, yeah. And then, yeah, basically same thing as in the beginning of the movie. Carol was stretchered over infirmary. And then we cut back to the classroom, and Carol just finishes the story. And then Scott then came in with the baby. They said they named him after his grandfather, and they named him Buddy Claus. Yeah, and that's how the movie ended. So yeah, 2.75 stars out of 4. Yeah, I can see why people really don't like this movie. Yeah, because yeah, this is definitely the most flawed one in the trilogy. But yeah, I still like it, just not as much. Alright, so that's it for my Santa Claus review. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.